universal freedom. This was never the only Jewish tradition, but it was one Jewish tradition. That generalized from our own experience of persecution and domination to seek a world without persecution and domination for anyone. That knew when European colonizers spoke a language of hatred to inferior others, that they had honed that language over centuries in Europe against Jews, who were not simply regarded as inferior, but as crafty and terrifying outsiders who could come to dominate them. We know that the fear of others and the attempt to dominate them was honed against us. And so we as Jews seek to do the most Jewish thing of all, which is to be in the crowd at Liverpool Street, to be in the demonstrations in London and in other cities and towns over recent weeks that have been full of people from every background, united only by horror at the carnage and hope that people can be free. We know that the most Jewish thing of all is to be there, opposing a whole world order of Western civilization that was for so long predicated on our destruction and is now predicated on the destruction of others. And so the really Jewish thing to do is not to join that awful kind of civilization, but is to follow the words of our great prophet Isaiah, who chastised Jews for fasting and said, you hope that God will bless you because you're fasting, but this is not a real fast. A real fast is when you stop oppressing your workers and let the captives go free. That's the message that our prophetic tradition brings to us. Do not mistreat a stranger, for you were once a stranger in a strange land. Let my people go, said Moses to Pharaoh in Egypt. And when they left, they didn't leave alone, but they took with them the mixed multitude from Egyptian society, the oppressed and exploited, who wanted to escape too. So that's the great Jewish tradition. And people may be intimidated by it because their minds have been conquered for so long by Zionism and anxiety. But there is a much more beautiful and really rich and true Jewish tradition that could bring people out onto those protests. So I hope to see lots of Jews on these protests, as we've seen hundreds and hundreds of Jews in Jewish blocs and all over the demonstrations in recent weeks.